Breaking the Silence Together podcast. My name is Jeannie Perez, the founder of You're Not Alone. It's a space where we hold stories for people that are struggling in silence with mental illness and addiction, relationships, marriage, spiritual, bullying, which is something we're going to be talking about today, and family crisis. It's a space where we make people feel safe with our services that we provide and with our tools and resources that we also provide worldwide. Today we're going to, since it's almost school time, I thought it was really a good time to talk about the topic that we have put together for everyone. I'm hoping that caregivers, parents, teenagers, children are being able to listen to this with their families. This is just something so important, especially in a time like now, which is about to be school year time for a lot of people, whether it's kindergarten, which I had my grandson started this year at kindergarten, and that's why it really pushed me to start, just because school's been on my mind for the last couple of months. Or it might just be someone that's about to be finished with school, 12th grade senior this year. It's just really important that we listen to what I'm going to share today, and I'm hoping that someone listening today, whether it's themselves or a family member or a friend, can really benefit from this talk today. And the topic that I picked for this, the title of what I picked is Bullied at School, Alone at Home, the Invisible Wounds Our Kids Carry. And that is just so strong, because I really had to put a lot of time, a lot of thought into this talk today. I was working on this for a couple of days with some team members and some leaders that have their own organization like mine, and it's just something that I want to put together, and I really wanted to get a little bit from insights from different individuals, caregivers, parents, leaders that have dealt with this. Besides myself, I have dealt with this a lot with family counseling, families that have been struggling with this for years, families that are new to this. And I just thought this would be a great time to really share this, because I know there's a lot of children out there right now that are just so feared that the summertime is about to end and school year is about to begin for them. And these are struggles and fear that a lot of us are not seeing. These struggles and these fears are just going invisible. But there's a lot of children and teens and adults that are about to graduate from high school, 17, 18-year-old students that are carrying this and have been carrying this for a long time. Please, if you do know anyone that might have struggled with this, or know someone that's dealing with this now and they're in fear because the school year is about to begin, please share this podcast link with them. So, for you that follow me, have never seen me with my pad in front of me. You always see me with my book. The reason why I have this pad today is because I really wanted to make sure that I covered everything that I put down on behalf of this. I couldn't put down a lot because, again, I only do 35 minutes. But I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss anything about this talk that we put together, because it's just so important. This talk is a talk that really is important to me, because children are important to me, and I'm just hoping that everyone listening, please just share it. If it's not nothing that you can resonate with right now, but you're still listening, please share it. And if you are listening because it does resonate with you, and you're listening to everything I share today, you're still not getting your answers, or you need a little bit of more information, or you just want to talk to somebody about this, please reach out to us. Go onto my site, www.youarenotalone.online. Please get on there, reach out to us, and just let us know what type of help you need or what more information you need on behalf of this. Because this is really, really crucial information. This is a crucial topic that many, many people are dealing with this in silence. So let's talk about this. What does modern bully really look like in society today? Because you really can't tell. You really can't see it. It's not visible most of the time. So the feedback I got back with the modern look on this is a child maybe sitting in their lunch cafeteria alone, unnoticed. A teenager suddenly doesn't want to go to school, but has no answer why they don't want to go to school when you're waking them up, or you're telling them, you got to get ready for school tomorrow. They're really not really in the mood, or they're not acting like they're really happy, or that really just kind of locks them down every time you bring it up. Or a kid who just, you see that's kind of disconnected. Every time school year comes around, or while school year is on session, you're seeing this disconnection with your child or this individual. These are emotional injuries. Bullying is an emotional injury, and it's real, and it is painful, and it is damaging, just as physical injury. Bullying injury is just as physical and damaging as physical injury. It's an emotional trauma. It's an emotional injury that are held within, and because they hold it back so much and they overwhelm themselves with this so much every day, their anxiety just kicks in faster and faster. Their nervous system just goes faster and faster, and they're just out of control emotionally. It does take a toll on them. It really does. And the damage is just as bad as physical harm. Bullying, and I'm repeating myself because I want people to really understand this and really understand that bullying is real. It's something that's really, really harmful to our children. It has no age. Even adults I know are being bullied, maybe at work and stuff, but right now we're just going to focus on school. But bullying is something that's really, really serious, and it's something that's happening worldwide, and it's been happening for many, many years in silence. It's the loneliness no one really talks about. And when I say loneliness, I mean, let's talk about when, what happens when the child who is bullied at school walks through the door. Like, let's say, once that school bell rings and they're on their way, they're packing their stuff up and they're on their way out of the school building. Those emotions and that pain that they're going through and what they're carrying around doesn't end there. It continues. That pain and what they're carrying around is going to continue even when they get home. They're still in that pain. They still are trying to work around that emotional injury, that emotional pain that they're carrying. So when they walk through the door, most of them, when they come home, they still feel alone because they're still carrying this pain with them. And it's locked in, they're insulated, isolating themselves to where they feel alone, even while they're not at school. Too many of our children don't feel safe enough to even speak up, when they're home, to the parents or their caregiver, or maybe even to someone at school. They don't feel safe enough to do that most of the time. And, let's bring up a couple of reasons why, when I had asked this to a couple of people and was talking to some people, why would they not feel safe? Why wouldn't they speak up, whether it's at home or in school? And a lot of them were saying because they think they will probably get in trouble. You know, whether their parent will be upset because they feel as though you probably started it. You know, what did you do for this to happen? You're calling it that somebody's roughing you up or someone's bullying you, but what really happened? What did you do? You know, they just felt as though they were afraid of always being blamed for something when it was actually happening to them. But they would they would feel like they tell someone at school or they tell someone at home, they feel as though they were going to be blamed for something they didn't do. Or a lot of them would say that most of the time they felt as though they weren't going to be believed. Like, no matter what they said, no one was going to believe what they said about them being bullied or how they were being bullied. You know, we must ask ourselves, have we made our homes or schools safe enough to where, you know, our children can feel safe? You know, do we have enough resources and tools in the school system? Are we talking about it enough at home? You know, these are things that we need to really ask ourselves, because we don't want to wait till the last minute to be told, you know, I'm being bullied, you know, your child is being bullied. We want to try to bring up these resources and really find out, is it that we're not being open enough at home? Does the school system have enough tools and resources where the children feel safe enough to bring it up to their school counselor or to their principal or to their teacher on what's going on with them? You know, no one really notices these changes quick enough most of the time. You know, and that's why I always say that we have to take a pause with ourselves and really, really get in tune and get involved with our children and just really understand how they act on a daily basis. And when you're seeing changes in the way they're acting and the way they're doing things and how they're disconnecting themselves, or they no longer want to do different things, or the way they're acting when it comes to school time, these are things that we have to really question. And we really have to bring these things up. You know, sometimes our children don't really want to talk about it or they brush it off, but that's where us as parents have to really push at it and continue to ask and continue to really get involved with our children every day, whether it's at school, the friends that they're hanging out with, you know, the new places they want to go to. You know, we have to really get involved with these things to really understand what's going on with our children on a daily basis. You know, sometimes the changes might be in their appetite. They might not be eating like they normally do. They might not be sleeping the way they normally do. You know, they're avoiding wanting not catch the bus to school anymore if they're catching a bus to school. Or they're just avoiding and trying to always prolong or delay them getting to school on a daily basis. You know, or just saying self-worth, you know, things to themselves like, oh, I feel stupid all the time, or no one likes me at school, or no one likes me anymore. These are red flags that we really have to feed into and we really have to question. We can't just brush it off because these things do not go away. You know, when we start seeing our children being, you know, withdrawn or reacting, you know, different to certain things that maybe as a family we used to do together and they no longer want to do it. Or just reacting over anything, or just arguing about simple things. These are changes, these are all red flags. You know, that's why we really have to really understand our children, or just individuals around us, you know, on the changes that they do, so we can really find out what's going on with them to keep them safe. And I always say, you know, when certain things are going wrong with your children, whether, you know, like the bullying in school, we have to really, really just stand up for them. You know, I know we teach our kids to really stand up for themselves, and yes, we do. But we also have to give them that support. And, you know, by doing that, you know, we want to approach them, find out, and if it is that we find out that the children are being bullied, we should go ahead and approach the school system. You know, make sure that we're bringing this up at school so that this is handled at school so your child can feel safe going to school again. You know, realizing, yes, I am being helped, someone heard me, they believe me, and now I'm getting the help that I need. But I'm also going to feel safe in school because they're doing what they need to do in school to prevent this from continuing to happen. And I know bullying is something that's very difficult to really bring up at the school system and really get the help that we need most of the time with the bullying. It might just take a little bit longer than we expect it to be taken care of. But we still have to speak up, and we still have to bring this to the attention to the school system. Wherever school your child is going to, please make that school system aware of what's going on so that your child feels safe going to school. We have to really just say things like, hey, I've noticed you seemed, you just seemed a little off lately. You don't really want to do things. You just look with, like you're disconnecting from different things. What's going on? Let's question them. And just make sure that you're just really on a daily basis, really documenting what things that are different with your child, so you can bring this up at the school. Maybe make an appointment with the counselor up at the school, let them know what's been going on, and hopefully your child will open up to the counselor in school and bring whoever it is, whether it's one person or the multiple kids that might be bringing the bullying onto your child, is handled so that everyone can heal in a healthy way. Because most of the time your child is in school longer than he is at home, or she's at home. So you want to make sure that you make that space safe to where they feel safe and they want to go and they can learn in a healthy way. Because, to every parent out there, every teacher or an advocate or a caregiver, I just really want to say that it's really important that we stand up for our children. It's really important that we don't brush this off and say, oh, he'll get over it or she'll get over it. It's going to get easier for them. We have to really, really get involved. Because I always say that a child's silence is never proof that there's nothing wrong with them. Just because a child is always silent or they're quiet doesn't mean that everything is okay. You have to always check in, ask twice if you have to, or more, to get the truth that you want from your child, And if they do open up to you about something that's going on in school, believe them at the first time that they tell you. Don't doubt what they're telling you, that what's going on with them at school. It's important that you believe them and you stand by them. And you let them know that, you're happy and thank you for letting me know what's going on. Now we're going to resolve this. We're going to get this taken care of. Give them that support and let them know that now that you know what's going on, you're going to make sure that they get the help that they want, but also it gets taken care at the school system so this no longer happens while they're at school. Sometimes just talking to them, and getting the help that they need at school and getting it taken care of, it might be that's all that they need to move forward. But sometimes when they've been bullied for a longer time and they've been carrying this for a longer time, they may need a little bit more than that. They might need to go to counseling. They might need to do, some kind of program to get them where they need to get, again, physically and mentally, so they can be healthy and start learning in a healthy way. So just let them know that you're there for them and you're going to be able to make sure that they get the help that they need so they can continue their education in a healthy way and they can feel happy and open up again to school and wanting to learn again. They're not alone. This is happening worldwide with millions and millions of kids in the school system. And I know right now, this time at the end of the summer, it's a really scary time for a lot of children out there, knowing that the school year is about to start and they know that everything's going to happen again if they've been bullied in the past. So we really need to be there for our children, really need to support them, let them know that they can open up to you about anything, and to please, if there's anything going on in school, they let you know so that you can get them the help that they need and let the school system know and let them be aware of what's going on at the school so that they can get the help that they need, your child, and also they can go ahead and do what they need with the individuals that are going around bullying other children. I'm just hoping that someone today was really listening to me that can really use this and hopefully help someone else to understand that it's okay, to not be okay at times when you're scared, you're nervous, school's about to start up again, and you feel as though no one's going to believe you. No, but they will. You just have to really open up and really tell someone what's going on with you at school. You have to let them know in school what's going on. Unless you tell someone, they're not going to know. They're not going to be able to help you. And this is something, like I said, an emotional injury. It's a trauma, and it's painful, and it's real, and it's just as bad as a physical damage, physical trauma, because you're holding this in, you're isolating yourself, and it does a lot of damage. And it's important to show up for yourself. It's important to show up for individuals that are dealing with this. Sorry about that. It's really important that we show up for them and really let them know that we're here for them. They're going to get the help that they need, and we're going to make sure that this is dealt with so that everyone can be healing in a healthy way. Again, for everyone that knows me or been following me, knows that, every day I'm pushing and I'm really doing everything that I can for mental illness, addiction, families, children that are dealing with certain things, whether it's a mental illness. Like I said, an addiction has no age. Bullying, which is a big thing right now that I'm focusing on because it is almost the time of that year, school year. And like I said, it's been on my mind lately for a lot because my grandson's going to be starting kindergarten next month. So this has really been on my mind, and it's really been something that I wanted to deal with because, like I said, bullying has no age. And unfortunately, most of our children are just so scared to just tell us what's going on. And no matter how strong you raise your child to be, for some reason when it comes to bullying, they close up, they lock down, and they don't really react the way you brought them up to react, to be strong, No matter, like I said, bullying is not just words, it could be things. It could be like right now, social media. People can get bullied on social media 24/7. And of course, it could be words that are being said to them. It can just be the way someone's being treated at the school, where they can't sit somewhere, or someone's telling them, no, you can't sit at this table at lunchtime, or you can't sit at this desk, or we're here, you can't sit here. So it's a lot of things besides just words that is part of bullying. So, we do raise our children to be strong, but bullying sometimes is very harsh. And no matter how strong your children are or how strong you're raising them at home to be, a lot of times the bullying takes over them. And that's why it's so important for us to really notice the changes in our children so that we can help them as soon as this starts happening, or as soon as we realize it's happening. We can be their support, we can be their voice, and get this taken care of as soon as possible and resolved with your child in the school system. Again, if you've been following me and you've been listening to my podcast, I want to say thank you for all your support, and thank you for really, really just hanging with us on this journey and just being open into all the changes that I've been bringing on, because I know, like I said, I started out my organization just dealing with mental illness and addiction, and now I have over 30 services that we're providing, and I just want to say thank you to everyone that's really, really been helping me with this and just standing by me and just giving me more and more push and more power and knowledge to continue every day with our journey. Because every day we're losing individuals by the seconds to a mental illness. Every day by the second we're losing individuals to an addiction. Families falling apart, marriages falling apart, individuals just losing who they are, who they were meant to be at this time with their spiritual, awakening, and they don't know what their purpose is. We're losing individuals, every day. Life is just brings so many triggers onto us and things that they're not expected, changes, surprises. And it's so important that we're here for our loved ones to really notice these changes that life really brings onto us on a daily basis. And I would say, if you're supporting mental illness or an addiction, please reach out to us. I mean, if you are a licensed therapist or you're a licensed counselor, or a social worker or an advocate, if you just want to be an advocate, reach out to us. Let's make this happen. Our tools and our resources and our services are available worldwide. You can log on anywhere in the world and you're going to be able to find us. You Google us. Google me, Jeannie Perez, the founder of You're Not Alone. You're going to find us. You're going to find information about the organization. You're going to find information about me if that's what you're trying to do before you come on. Get your questions and your doubts resolved so you can come on and join us. Help us out. It doesn't matter where you're at in the map. You can help us out. You don't even have to leave your home. As long as you have a phone or a computer, you're fine. You can help us because our clients can log on worldwide. And if you're listening and you know someone that can really benefit from our services or our tools and resources, please push our information to them. Send them our podcast link or send them our website link so they can get on there and really find the information or the help, the help that they need, whether it's services or tools and resources. Let them find out. Everything is free on there. Just push it along. You just never know who really needs it. Because most of the time, no one's going to tell you that they need help. So you just never know. It could be the person next to you right now. It could be your grandmother. It could be your father. It could be your mother. It could be a sibling. It could be your child. Or it could be your partner. You just never know. So it's really important that we just continue to share this information and get this information out to as many people that we can so they can benefit from this if they need it. We're here to help them, and if we can't support them and we can't help them with our tools and our resources and our professional services, we will find the help that they need and make sure they get the help that they need. If our organization doesn't have it, I will find an organization or a private person, licensed therapist or counselor or whatever it is, whether it's a facility that they may need for an addiction or it's a facility they may need for mental illness, we will find it for them. Because unfortunately at this moment we don't have a facility of our own, but we do work with facilities worldwide. So please, if you need help for mental illness and addiction, please get on my website, www.youarenotalone.online. Reach out to us. If you're giving us a call, we got a toll-free number that's 24/7, monitored and answered by a live person. We have a live chat box, which is monitored by a live person 24/7. We have an email that's also monitored 24/7 by a live person. Just reach out to us. But whatever you do, you don't have to be, you can be anonymous, but please, you have to leave us a message. We get tons and tons of reach out, people trying to call us, texting us, emailing us, but they don't leave a message. You have to leave a message in order for us to reply to you or give you a call back or reach out to you. We can't reach out to you unless we know what type of help you need so we can get the right person to reach back out to you. Please leave us a message. If you're calling from a phone and we can't call you back, please tell us how we can get a hold of you. Because if we can't call you back, I can't help you. If I can't email you back, we can't help you. So please leave us the information. You don't have to leave your name, but leave us the information on how we can get a hold of you back and exactly what is it and how we can help you. With that being said, I just want to say thank you again to anyone that's listening to us, following us, supporting us. We can't do this without you. And I just want to end this with my mark, like always, my statement. It's okay to not be okay, but what's not okay is for anyone to struggle in the dark, in silence, alone. That's not acceptable. Not anymore. Get on my site, www.youarenotalone.online. We have all the help that you need, and if we don't have it, we're going to find it for you. Until next time, take care of yourself and your loved ones.